Hello, everybody. My name is Trevor Lawrence Johnson. I am the founder and CEO of Conservative International, and many of you may be wondering who I am. Well, I know that there are those of you who have heard of me, and probably those of you who have not. If you have heard of me, you probably have heard of me on one of Sam Whitfield's internet radio talk shows, either Whitfield Nation, which just recently ended, or the Whitfield Analysis, which is his new and current running show. In fact, you probably heard me on one or two of the episodes. I may have only done one on the Whitfield Analysis so far. I have a show of my own along with my colleague, Luke Kaninsky. Before I go into who I am or what it is I do, I first want to just straighten something a bit comical out. I heard from Sam that some of you think, I guess, that I'm not real or that Luke Kaninsky is not real, that we are computer-generated voices or programs of some sort. Well, I can assure you now that that is not true. The only reason I am not currently showing my face in this video is because I'm not very comfortable with being publicly identified at the current moment. You probably all will get to see me sometime in the future. It may be soon, it may not. I'm not sure how that is going to go, but for the time being, I wish not to be seen. And I think my colleague Luke as well does not wish to be seen at the moment. Anyway, I run Conservative International, and it very much is like Whitfield Enterprises, which Sam Whitfield works with. Under Whitfield Enterprises, you have WRN, or the Whitfield Radio Network, which he started before the idea of WE came along, and we are working on other sub-organizations, as we call them. So WRN is one of the sub-organizations that is under WE. CI works in the same way. In fact, this is kind of in some way where the idea came from. We brought it to Sam and he liked it. He gave us some suggestions and it evolved from there. So Conservative International is basically the same type of thing. It works with different sub-organizations for different purposes. Conservative International is somewhat of a think tank as well. And so it works like the Conservative International, that's what I meant to say, is the name for the whole realm of sub-organizations we work with. One of them being CSF, which is for like fair donation and knowledge to the person who is donating for a particular cause, that you know what exactly your money and your donations and proceeds are going to. That's an idea we came up with because there are certain organizations, including I think it's Susan G. Komen, who does breast cancer. There are many who do know this now, but a lot of people still don't. But the breast cancer organization, Susan G. Komen, also gives much of the proceeds to pro-abortion organizations. So basically, I want to use CSF as a way to stop people from not knowing about these type of things. Like basically have at every event some sort of huge, like, big public list of this is what it's going to, depending on what you donate to, etc. Sorry, I didn't mean to go into too much detail on that, but that's one of the sub-organizations of CI. We're working on some other ones, which a few of those you probably won't get to see for a while. CISNBC will be the Conservative International Societal News Broadcasting, which will be like an internet news network, and maybe in the future it might even be a news channel on TV. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Anyway, so that is what Conservative International is. Now, I guess getting down to the question of who I am am a conservative teenager, like many of you. I can assure you that there are probably many things we agree on, and also many things we don't agree on. Tell you the truth, I'm not too keen, or I'm not too happy with classification of certain types, like generalizing, I guess. I do generalize myself mainly when I'm trying to just lightly touch on a certain point because I want to keep focused on something else, or just as to bring an idea up or across for a discussion or something like that. But I usually don't like to generalize. which is why I usually don't like to exactly refer to myself as conservative or as liberal. In fact, I definitely would not consider myself liberal. At least not the modern definition. The modern definition is treacherous, I would say. At least, I mean, the modern liberal. I'm getting a bit confused here. Anyway, so that's basically my opinion on generalization. I do like to classify, but not exactly generalize. So as far as all that goes, that's a pretty short summary there. I do have opinions on the issues. I'm most definitely against abortion. I do not support abortion in cases of rape and incest either, because I personally do not believe that to be logical or sane to say that you are pro-life and then all of a sudden when it comes to rape and incest say that you are not. I believe that is very not controversial. I believe that's contradictory. That's the word I'm looking for. Because there's a reason why it's called pro-life. It's about the life. It doesn't matter exactly about a choice. America is a great place because we have freedom of choice. But at the same time, among our rights in America and as human beings, I believe at least, and this was kind of the idea of America, or at least what was America, that you have your rights, but then you also have your duties. And one of those duties is to preserve life and the right to life. You have a right to choice and freedom of speech and all that, but that does not necessarily mean that it is right to practice the other side of that, what I would call the liberal spectrum of freedom of speech. Not liberal as in free, but liberal as in the most extreme. I'm not exactly using the word liberal fairly right now, but yeah, you get the idea. There's, I guess, a bad example of my generalizations. But anyway, as far as other issues go, there's a few which I shall remain quiet on for a moment, because I do not want to make my opinion public on certain ones right now. I cannot think of another one at the moment that I would want to voice, but I'm sure that some of you may have questions for me. If you do, then feel free to leave a comment or a question for me, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. So if you have any questions on my opinions or the issues or what the conservative youth movement's about, CI or WE or anything, you can ask me or Sam, etc. And it was nice to meet, or at least get to talk to you all, and I hope you all have a good day. Thank you, and goodbye.